Have you ever done some paint pours that are quite pretty, but as a painting, as a piece of artwork to hang on your wall, they're just not nice. They're just not, and it's not enough. I've got several paintings, or probably lots of paintings actually, that I don't want to throw away, that have got something about them that's worth keeping, but equally I don't want to hang them on my wall, or I'm not really worried about selling them because I'm not particularly fussed about them or proud of them. I've got several paintings like that. So I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to use the canvas, I'm going to cut the canvases up, and I'm going to make a collage using the pretty bits from a few different pours. I've got the idea of a tree. I'm going to do a tree, I'm going to do some blossoms, some leaves, out of with a collage technique out of unwanted paintings I've done. So I don't know if it will work. Cannot wait to find out. Really excited to try this. These are the two paintings that I'm actually quite inspired by. So this, I love it, but it's very brown. I think it was a double straight pour, two straight pours on one canvas. I think I was going for a sort of earthy vibe. So you've got a lot of copper in there, which is obviously brown, and a lot of green. So I was looking at this thinking, these lines, this could definitely be the trunk of a tree. And then some grass, some leaves. I could really use this canvas for a tree effect. And then this one was just balloon kisses. You can see it's not finished. It's not a finished painting. It was just balloon kisses from something else I did. So instead of wiping off the balloon, I just dabbed all the balloon kisses onto this canvas. So there's another piece of artwork, and I can't even remember which piece it is, which this resulted from. And it's so pretty. So I just had this idea of maybe cutting around some of these, maybe not even in a circle, maybe slightly jagged to look a little bit like flowers. And there's some beautiful green bits I could make into leaves. So I think I'm just thinking of blossom on a tree, a bit like apple blossom. And then this piece underneath, I was going to use this base for my Alzheimer's Society painting, and it's just white and blue acrylic paint that I just put on with a spongy brush, and I put it in zigzag, not in zigzag, in wiggly lines. So there's a bit of texture to it. This isn't fluid art itself, this is just paint. Neat paint, white and blue paint. So it was really pretty, but I decided it wasn't quite right for the Alzheimer's Society advert I wanted to do. So I'm going to use this as the blue base. So I'm just imagining some grass at the bottom here. I'm imagining the tree trunk and all the branches, and then some flowers, some blossom and some leaves. Not sure, as I said, if this was going to work, but I'm going to use up some canvases, some paintings that I don't want to throw away, but that just aren't, I don't want to keep either. So I'm going to start with the trunk of the tree. Now, I've never cut into a canvas before, so I think one option is that I could try and take it off the back here. Now that is going to involve, I think, some tweezers or some pliers to pull out the staples. Or obviously I can just cut it. Two options for the tree trunk. Either I could just have one large trunk that I'm cutting out here, or I can patch little bits together. I think what I should do is try and separate the brown and the green. So I'll end up with lots of bits and pieces. So I'm going to use my craft knife, and I'm just going to try cutting, see what happens. Right, you have to cut with a lot of force because this is very thick. So you've obviously got a canvas, and then you've got thick paint because this was a straight pour. So this is actually taking quite a lot of cutting. Okay, maybe I need to cut it with some scissors then. I've made a hole in it. Right, so there's greens and there's browns. Now what was really interesting is the edge of that canvas was easy to cut with the scissors. The centre was really difficult. So it was really obvious that the paint had really pooled in the centre. It was much, much thicker in the centre. Right, let's get this canvas back. I'm just going to look at the tree at the moment. I'm not going to worry about the flowers. I'm just looking at the outline of the tree. I'm going to look at the grass first, so I'm just getting my green bits. Now the green bits have got brown in it, but that doesn't really matter. So I'm just looking at how I could layer some of the green along the bottom here, and do I have enough? So I think I'm going to cut this up into lots of different pieces and then sort of position them all together, a bit like a puzzle, but overlapping. Up all my green bits. What I've decided to do though is paint some green on the bottom here for the grass, so that if there's any gaps it will look green and not the blue showing through. So I've just picked just a few greens. I've picked the Pebeo iridescent green yellow because I'm sure that is in there. Actually I think it's sap green. It's neither of those two. Let me find my sap green. It's this. I'm going to do a mixture of these two because these two greens are in here, so a bit of light, a bit of dark, and to get a bit of a blend. And I'm going to do it probably about that much, couple of inches. Green paint is now more or less dry, so I'm just going to just have a play, just put some pieces down just to see if I can get it to look as I want it. So little bits overlapping. Cut out and planned out. So I decided to cut with the curves in the painting, and the effects I'll show you when we look close up, but the effects are beautiful because you've got these really beautiful twisting lines, and most of the branches follow the lines actually in the painting, and that I just feel like that adds something. I've managed to make it look like, I think that the trunk is kind of twisting over each other. So I really feel like it's a bit of a sort of a magical enchanted tree. So really happy. So I've stuck these two pieces together. In fact, can I show you this up close? Can you see? You can see the beautiful shine of the copper, but you can see how the lines, I've just cut with the lines. I've just gone with the natural curvature of the painting. So the first thing I will do is just stick this in place. I'm using a hot glue gun to do all the sticking because I just feel that's going to give the most secure seal and the most secure stick. So I'm going to have the tree just slightly overlapping. I love the fact that it's not symmetrical. It's kind of slightly wonky. So let's just put some glue down here. In fact, we could start with the, no, let's start with the bottom. Let's just get that really securely anchored into place. I tend to find that hot glue, it cools pretty quickly. So if I were to cover the whole of this tree trunk in glue, by the time I get to the other end, the first bit that I put the glue down, that it would have just gone hard and cooled down. So I'm just trying to do it in stages. Right, this is now the really exciting part. My tree is done, nicely stuck down, and look what I've got. I've cut out all of the balloon kisses from the other painting. Lots of different shapes, lots of different sizes. So this, I think, really looks like blossom. So I am now going to stick some of these onto my tree. I've also cut out some leaves. So where there was some green bits on the other painting, I've cut out some little leaf shapes. So I'm going to put the blossom on first, and then I'm going to, I think, just put an odd few leaves just around the blossom. There's quite a lot of joins in this at the moment, joins where the branches meet, but that's absolutely fine because I'm going to put the flowers on now to cover them up. So you actually won't see a lot of these branches afterwards. And again, I'm just going to use my hot glue gun. I'm not quite sure how I feel about the really, really large flowers. I'm not sure if they're too big or not. Might just place a few on and see what it looks like. It's now finished. It's a funny one. I like it. It is really pretty. It is also a bit odd, I think. So I do really like it. It was an experiment and it was fun. I ended up adding loads more bits of blossom, cutting out loads of extra little tiny small flowers because it just looked a little bit weird. So I think it looks better now. It's a fuller tree. So let me start from the bottom, so the order that I did this in. So you can see just lots of pieces of the green and brown there, all sort of mixed up. You can definitely see the green underneath, so I'm really glad I painted it. Now, I absolutely love this tree trunk because can you see there's a piece that goes up here, that's one piece, and then there's the other piece underneath. So I really think the lines in it are really effective, and it does look like bark twisting around. Now up here, you've got the leaves, you've got the branches. I'll show you up here. You can see the branches, but they're quite subtle. And I like that. They're there, but they're obviously covered in the blossom. And you'd have seen in the time lapse, I used some paint and I just dotted in because I wanted to fill in some of the negative space. So you've got a bit of different texture there. So I used some of the deeper violet and some of the pale pink just to fill in some of the spaces, and I think that works well. So you can see some leaves, lots of different shapes, lots of different size flowers. So all the larger flowers, they are balloon kisses in themselves. But then if you look at the really small ones, they're not individual balloon kisses, they're just bits of that painting that I've just cut up into circles because I just felt it needed some more. Some of the blossom isn't attached, I think that's fine. And obviously I've added a few down the bottom here as if it's falling. So the sort of the petals, I think, are, hopefully it just looks like they're kind of flying everywhere really. So it's a different one, but wow, it was really fun. What a fun way to use a couple of paintings and transform them into something else. So what do you think? I know it's a bit different. I think it's quite effective. I quite like it. I enjoyed making it. It is still slightly odd though, but what do you think? Let me know. Great, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video or if you like this painting or this piece, please do subscribe to my channel. Please do hit the thumbs up button. Great, take care everyone. Bye.